Alright folks, so I've gone back and forth a few times on what to do on this video for January 2022. I've tried to make videos, stopped, deleted them, tried again, because there's just a lot of information, so I apologize if it's a long video, but let me try to summarize some things, because it's certainly been a hectic let's see, 3.5 years. So let me back up a little bit. So I'll do some dates and then I'll explain why these dates are important after. So let's see, July of 2018 to January of 2019, January 2020 to July of 2021. Alright, so real quick note, let's see, 2014, just as a reference, Mom had a major heart surgery. We knew at that time, after the surgery, the doctor said she could never have surgery again after that. The everything inside was just so bad at that point. Looking back, we can trace back dementia, which I'll talk about, to the beginning stages, then even maybe a little bit before the very early signs. So let me fast forward, because I know you probably want to get some information maybe about the bus build as well, and if I get a chance I'll talk about that. Alright, so July of 2018, at the time I'm working third shift, 5 nights a week. My brother had his regular day job 5 days a week. Our dad was unexpectedly, I can't remember what led to it, but he was diagnosed with a non-cancerous tumor in this area of the brain, and I'm not going to get the term right. However, the tumor itself was causing issues, and certainly the surgery removed it so it wouldn't get worse, but between the two, basically his orientation to time and place really got screwed up. And why that's important is that over the past few years it became evident that my mom, that our mom had dementia. It was pretty clear at that point. So there's a heart surgery, dementia, and she was dealing with diabetes as well. And my brother had been helping out our dad a little bit, here and there, trying to help him with meds and things like that. Well, in July of 2018, of course, that all changed, because at that point, Dad certainly at that point, because of this tumor surgery, was not able to do that on his own. So essentially, what would happen at that point, I still worked third shift, and I would help out in the mornings, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning, I'd be helping out on standby, because those were the days I have off, and then my brother and his schedule covered all the other times. So from July of 2018 to January 2019, when he passed, that was our schedule. Now in January 2019, our dad, who we thought was going to be around long after Mom, only because he was in pretty good health, always got pretty good updates from doctor's visits, died of a massive cardiac arrest, whatever you want to call it. It was totally unexpected, no warning whatsoever, really. For anybody who knows with dementia patients, I'll go a little bit more of that. Drastic changes in their situation environment can cause them to dip suddenly. The first thing that she said, she was afraid. She said, "Are you going to put me in a nursing home?" And of course, my brother and I think, well, we can't do that, because she didn't want to go. Our dad didn't want her to go. So my brother came up with a plan, and I want to say ahead of time, this plan that we were able to do to keep him at home, a lot of families don't have the advantage that my brother and I had, that we live close, we're able to make arrangements so that we were able to cover Mom 24/7 between the two of us, so she could stay at home where she wanted to stay and where our dad wanted to stay, because she never wanted to go into a nursing home. So at that point, from January, February, March, I was taking FMLA and vacation days to cover the days he couldn't, until we could get my house going, cleaned up, get a renter in, and essentially I moved in with Mom. Now, my brother and I shared care pretty much 24/7. I don't need to go into a lot of the details, but even though I was the one living here, it was a 50-50 deal. That much I can, I'll tell you. Mom did take the dip, as I described. I want to say for the first maybe several months, because of the dementia, she was asking a lot where Dad was. She would sometimes sit on the edge of the bed and literally just stare at the wall for hours. Now, during that time, my brother and I continued to working with her, starting to get to know more. I mean, we were aware of her meds before. We were helping our dad, but now we're really getting into things, getting into her diet, because we were supporting our dad, who was cooking meals. That I want to say about 5 or 6 months, we got her, or probably less than that, got her to a point where she was actually now willing to spend more time out in the living room, which was not in this front room at the time. She was getting more alert. We were able to do some walks outside, and I think it was in August of 2019 that she had the minor stroke, and unfortunately, what that stroke did, it did have an impact, not necessarily on her mental state at the time, but she lost some of her movement, specifically in her right leg, and it also caused her bladder to stop working. Now, one of the things that my brother and I had to learn to do at some point was doing the catheterization. We learned to do the catheterization because we wanted to keep Mom at home, and there's only so many times nurses comes in. I can't remember all the details, but we always used to talk like, well, how many lines are we going to cross? Not saying that in a bad way, but what are we going to do? And pretty much I'd say we were willing to do anything to keep our Mom at home where she wanted. Now, the good thing is that over time, she actually recovered enough. I want to say maybe it took about a year, maybe less than that, where she actually no longer needed that catheter setup. The doctors attribute that part of that was probably to her diet and our care. I'm not saying that they gloat or anything like that, but because of that one-on-one care that she had, she recovered from the stroke very well. We were able to eventually get her completely off the catheter setup, which I'm sure she was very happy. In 2019, she was still pretty active. We were walking up and down our driveway. She would at least walk one length of it. I would say it's at least 400 feet, 3 or 4 telephone poles. I'm just guessing, but it's quite a length of a distance with her walker, and then, the wheelchair, and then I'd push her on the way back. So we go through that summer. The dementia at that point is steady in that there's no really dips, there's no highs, no lows. We went through a stage where she might sleep for 2 or 3 days, then she'd be up for a couple of days, and then that kind of leveled out at some point where we were getting her into a normal routine. So 2020 was a problem for walking, and I know I'm fast forwarding a little bit, because that was the summer we had the hot summer, so she just couldn't make it outside. But alright, so let's fast forward to 2021. Alright, so let's go through January of 2021 till her passing on July 22nd of this year. Now, things, for anyone who's dealt with dementia patients, things can change on a dime. You just don't know how things are going to go. So I want to say for the first, let's see, January through April, I want to say things were going pretty much steady the same. Now, in May, I noticed that her appetite was changing a little bit. She wasn't necessarily eating the full meals like she was. So, that's one of the things that I don't know how to explain it really. Her appetite decreased a little bit, but she was still eating, still alert and everything. And at the time, there wasn't a big concern because we were just attributed to more changes having to do with the dementia, how the brain works. But it was important that we kept monitoring. We checked her weight, checked her blood pressure, her heart rate. We even got an oxygen sensor to put on her finger. We were doing a number of different things. Little by little, we started noticing that the appetite was decreasing little by little at each time. And again, we're consulting with a physician to try and see what's going on. And it wasn't a big change, but we did notice, it was significant. So that's when we, let me back up. So at the time, I think we were making an appointment or had an upcoming appointment with a doctor. So my sister Michelle comes up for the month of June to cover my brother's vacation and my vacation. And she's still eating, but again, not quite as much, which was a surprise to all of us, because before that, the whole time, she wouldn't want to stop eating. There are different things that we spoke with a physician about helping to curb an excessive appetite, but now it was going in the other direction. So my brother goes on his vacation, and every now and then with dementia patients, they have their ups and downs. Mom had a couple of little frustrating days, which again was not normal. Was not unusual, but it doesn't happen a lot. So I kind of made a note of it. Talked with my sister. My brother comes back from his vacation, and this is where things change on a dime. She had a significant dip while I was away. I guess her health took a sudden drop, and then just comes back within a day. So he contacted the doctor's office, and the doctor recommended, based on all the things we were telling him, because I think we had noticed, we started noticing some swelling of the legs, so we were consulting with the doctor that on what medications to do, what to look for, hence checking the blood pressure, heart, and all that stuff. But anyway, while I was on vacation, she took a sudden dip, and without getting into the whole conversation, my brother calls me and said the doctor recommended getting in touch with hospice. So I come back from vacation, and we have an appointment with hospice. Let me back up really quick. Sometime, I think just before I went on vacation, when I got back, I can't remember exactly when, we determined that Mom did have some type of stroke at some point, because one day she was kind of slurring words, but then again, an hour later she comes right out of it and perfectly normal. She was getting more tired easily, and again, these are things we all were in constant contact with our doctor, monitoring what was going on. Without getting a lot of the details, we got some diagnosis, and we kind of had an idea some things were declining. So let me fast forward to the end of our June. Hospice comes in, and Mom's sitting there. She's still, kind of alert. The lower appetite things going on, and we're thinking they're not going to take her in because she's alert. She's answering questions. But evidently, given her history and speaking with the physician, they said, well, we'll admit her and then we'll evaluate her in 6 months to see where she is. So we got this book from part of hospice. There's a book written by an RN, Barbara Carnes, I think I'll reference in the section below. I would recommend this to anyone. It's about the dying process, because it helped us understand the stages. So just to explain just how things happen so quickly, This book talks about a 6-month, 3 to 4 month stage, a weekly stage, a daily, and an hourly stage. And with Mom, things changed so fast that as we were ordering devices or different changes in how we're caring for her, how we're getting around, it just was just happening so fast. In other words, she was having trouble with one of the buttons, the call button, so we got a different one for her, and it came a few days later, and her orientation had dropped so much that she couldn't even use that. Over the next couple of weeks, we were helping her get back and forth, and we decided, okay, we really need to get a hospital bed at this point because we want her to be safe. We don't want her to fall out of bed or anything like that. We get that hospital bed, and I think it was like just a few days that before she passed. So definitely was not easy to talk about this a few months ago. That's why I had a lot of trouble making the other videos. But I just figured I'd let everybody know, what we've done. I'm debating whether or not to do more in-depth videos on Mom's care, the different stages. I may not, because it's a very personal thing, but I don't know what we're going next. And again, sorry if this is going to be a long video, but one of the things now that we have to deal with is Mom and Dad's estate. So 2022 is going to be our year of going through things. This is something every family has to do. There's 4 of us, so we're making sure that everybody is getting the equal. There's 4 of us siblings, so we know what Mom and Dad would want, how everything should be divided out properly, of course. And so this year we're going to have to go through the house, sort some things out. We are definitely going to have a big yard sale because Mom and Dad, we kind of laugh about it now, collected a lot of things. It was their generation, I guess. They're big collectors. We're not. So a lot of the things they have, were obviously an interest to them. Now, as far as my bus build, I appreciate everyone that has been staying on and watching the videos. I plan on doing some more, but again, 2022 is going to be a very kind of chaotic year, I think, because I'm working on my bus. I'm working on freelance writing for something for on-the-road income, but it'll be actually, I think, a few years before I'm on the road. I'm not sure what else I can say at this point. Maybe if people have questions, I can answer them in the comments or answer them with a video. But that's where we're at. Again, it's been a very crazy 3 years, but what I want to say is that my brother and I were more than happy to do what we did to care for the mom at home. And again, a lot of families don't have the option we have. Now, when I say that, we didn't have this, vast income or riches to rely on when we gave up our jobs. What I did is I moved in with Mom. I rented my house out. My brother changed from full-time to a part-time job so that we could manage my house. We rented to Mom's house. He had time for his, and yet we both cared for Mom as well. One of the things we talked about is me moving in, but the bottom line, I can tell you, it was essentially 50-50 on everything that we did. So again, I appreciate everybody for watching. Sorry again for the long video, but I just wanted to give everyone an update on what I guess 2022 is going to look like, and that's just dealing really with Mom and Dad's estate.